5 hours is a good chunk of time to be energetic and do things, and there are plenty of games out there that you can finish in under 5 hours. So here are 5 games you can beat in under 5 hours.
All right, number 1, Portal. We got to start with Portal.
Yes.
There's something fascinating about this game because you can take forever playing it. You can sort of figure out the puzzles on your own, little by little. Take your time, explore the world, you know, poke around and understand exactly what's going on here. Or you can fly through it very quickly and feel like a just brain wizard. It's the feeling of accomplishment of defeating this game, getting to the end of it, which I won't spoil, but you should probably know by now because the ending's been printed on like 2 million t-shirts, is really satisfying for me because I'm not smart. But it makes me feel smart.
I think what's really great about Portal is not only is it that feeling of being smart and solving a puzzle, it's also the sense of motion that you get from being in a first-person environment.
Yeah.
There's those parts where you like slingshot yourself around, and it's just, I don't know, it's both the feeling of movement that you get from kind of more physical games and the super genius puzzle effect.
Yeah.
As it's technically known in the industry.
Yeah, it's got great art direction, great characters. I just really like this game. I really hope it comes back someday.
Yeah, that would be nice. Valve. Anyway, another game that's really good is Journey. This was a left and right game of the year. This is not a long game. Some people would be like, this isn't a game at all. I don't know what to tell you. It's a really cool, weird, interactive narrative experience that you play with strangers over the internet.
Kind of, yeah.
It's like a weird sort of almost romantic stranger danger thing, but it's a fun time.
Yeah, I think this one's incredible because it's sort of the length of a movie, but it leaves you, I mean, it's almost haunting. It just kind of sticks with you. I don't want to give anything away.
It's easily the most like emotionally wrought thing about someone trying to assemble a scarf I've ever played.
Yeah, totally. It's just really interesting. It's also just incredibly beautiful. It's super cheap on PlayStation. You can play it pretty much on your PS4 or your PS3. It's on PlayStation Now as well. I really like this game. I think about the ending all the time. It's dark and beautiful and inspiring, a lot like life, and you can finish it in just a few hours.
Yeah. Now, those are 2 games that people have talked about left and right, up and down, across, and so on and so forth. One that I didn't think got enough praise at all was Jazzpunk. Jazzpunk is like a cyberpunk spy versus spy first-person adventure game. So full disclosure, a friend of mine actually made this, but I made friends with him because he was making this.
Right.
Like he reached out to do press stuff, and he's like, "Hey, I'm working on this weird game. You might get a kick out of it." It's all done in kind of this ridiculous, strange '60s, just kind of Mad Magazine, Looney Tunes aesthetic, and it's. But it's all the tropes are like stuff like Blade Runner and Akira. So yeah. Very weird.
I really like the humor in this game.
Yeah.
I want to say writing, but a lot of the characters just sort of make like weird sound effects. And it's very slapstick. It's got a lot of like Looney Tunes element to it, and just the art is so minimalist and weird, but it just really works.
Yeah.
And it's totally different than anything else on this list. So.
It's like somewhere between like Deus Ex and a I don't know, Leslie Nielsen movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I recommend that one.
With like a little bit of cyanide and happiness.
Short and sweet.
I really dig it.
Good time. Now, completely on the other end of the spectrum, Little Nightmares is a game I played this year. It's definitely winding up on my Games of the Year list. This is just one of the most haunting, disgusting, and really upsetting games I've played in quite some time that also manages to be weirdly kid-friendly. It's got a ton of references to Spirited Away and other bits of like Studio Ghibli stuff in there without being like completely on the nose. The aesthetic of it is very like kind of Tim Burton-y. Like it has this just griminess to it.
Yeah.
And it's if I had to describe it, it's sort of like a survival horror game for kids. But it's not for kids, and it's not really survival horror either, so I don't know what I'm saying by that. It's scary in the way that like picture books might have scared you when you were a kid, or like, I don't know, like the part in The Great Mouse Detective where that bat jumps out of the baby carriage.
Yes.
And you're like, that's not scary, it's a cartoon bat, but this is like a game where you're like a little kid in a raincoat walking around. But then again, after it, little kids in raincoats are pretty creepy.
It's really like sort of vivid and painterly, and there's something kind of like wet about the world that I kind of dig. I've been meaning to finish it, and luckily it's only a few hours, so I have no excuse.
Yeah. Now, tie for first place here. 2 games that are very similar to Little Nightmares: Limbo and Inside. These are both made by Playdead. Limbo, wonderful black and white kind of puzzle platformer. just incredible sound design, like very, very charming. It's very like stripped down. There's basically no UI. You just walk around and use stuff. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't played it, you're missing out because it's really good.
It's on almost every platform ever.
Yeah, I think it's on iPhone.
It's on iPhone for sure.
Android,
and there's something about this game. If you haven't played it or you haven't seen it, it stars a little boy, and it's also incredibly violent. And the deaths in this game are very vivid. And it's the kind of thing like again, like in talking about things that have stuck with me. The first time your character gets killed in this game, or the first time it faces like one of the larger creatures in the game, still sort of like gives me the tingles. Like it's just gross kind of thinking about it. But again, it's just a few hours. The way this game and Inside end are sort of open to interpretation in a lot of ways, which I find fascinating. So like if you can finish this game in 2.5 hours, and you still have 2.5 of that 5 hours to spare, go online and read some of like the sort of breakdowns that people have done on the theories that people have about what these stories mean.
I think
they're so interesting.
I think I liked Inside better. It's very similar to Limbo. Cool thing is they both came out in a physical 2-pack this week, so if you missed both of those, then jump on that. I think that hit the PS4 physical retail. I mean, they're out there for pretty much everything, so check those out. Obviously, these are just 5 of our personal picks of games you can beat in under 5 hours. There are a lot of them. Technically, you can beat Skyrim in under 5 hours, but pretty much nobody does that. And then, of course, there are speedrunners who are certifiably insane people. What are your favorites? Let us know in the comments, and thank you to 5 Hour Energy for fueling us with energy.
Thanks for watching our video about 5 games you can beat in under 5 hours. Like 5s? You'll love this video about the 5 games that you can't play on your TV with your Nintendo Switch. Like more 5s? Here's 5 indie movies we really like right now. 5. High 5. 5.